So today you're going to do an unbox with me of who I get all of my custom wigs made from. Here's her website. Here's who she is. Of course, you got all of them.
Y'all bushing. All right, look.
She had just earned her doctorate in May. Think about that for a second. Years of studying, sacrificing, probably crying over textbooks at 2 a.m, and she finally made it. She finally got to call herself doctor. And a few months later, she was gone. Shot dead at a party that was supposed to be a celebration. I'm talking about Dr. Shandrika Hayslett, 34 years old, from Memphis, Tennessee. And I need you to sit with me for a minute, because this one hits different. Before we go further, if you're new here, welcome to Silent Crime Victims. This channel exists because so many victims get forgotten the moment the news cycle moves on. So if you don't want to miss where this story goes, hit subscribe and tap that bell icon right now. I promise you, you don't want to be the person who misses the update when it drops. Okay, let's get into it. So here's what we know. On a Saturday night, in the Douglas neighborhood of Memphis, there was a big party. Not just any party. It was a send-off celebration. Somebody's cousin was heading off to college, and the family wanted to send them off right. You know how that goes. Music playing, people laughing, probably somebody's grill going in the backyard. A night that was supposed to be full of joy and hope for the future. And Dr. Hayslett was there. Not as some outsider. She was part of that community. Friends who knew her described her as living proof that you can come from hard beginnings and still make it. One of her close friends, Dr. Talisa Franklin, said something that stuck with me. She said Hayslett was another beautiful, educated black woman who is no longer here to inspire other young black girls. Let that sink in for a second. Because here's the thing about Shandrika. She wasn't just book smart. People said she was driven, faithful, the kind of person who didn't have it easy growing up. But she pushed through anyway. And when she made it, when she got that doctorate, she didn't disappear into some new life far away from where she came from. She went back home. She showed up to that party to celebrate her cousin, to be present in her community, to basically say, look, if I can do this, so can you. That's who was standing in that crowd on Brookins Street that night. A woman who had just proven, in the most real way possible, that dreams are actually reachable. And then, in an instant, everything changed. Because somewhere in that celebration, something went wrong. Terribly wrong. That's where I'm going to pause for now. In the next part, I want to walk you through exactly what happened that night, how a celebration turned into chaos, and who else got hurt. Stay with me.
She beat the odds to earn her doctorate. Shandrika Hayslett proved you can do anything you set your mind to. Now, sadly, she has become the latest victim of gun violence here in Memphis. Thanks so much for joining us for the news at 9. I'm Sheila O'Connor. Memphis police say a fight led to a deadly mass shooting in the Douglas community. And new tonight, police say 3 victims have been released from the hospital. 1 is still in critical condition as police continue looking for the killers. Fox 13's Martin Staunton has been working this story all day. He joins us live from the Tillman Police Station. Martin, friends say this loss is not only devastating for the family, but for the entire Douglas community.
That's right, Sheila. A lifelong friend of Dr. Shandrika Hayslett says that she was the kind of person who showed young people in Douglas what was possible. That friend, Dr. Talisa Franklin, shared what she believes the entire city lost last night.
A great deal, because that's another beautiful, educated black woman is no longer here to inspire other young black girls that probably never could believe they can be a doctor. They never could believe they can go to college.
What started as a celebration of achievement ended in heartbreak. Memphis police say a fight led to a mass shooting just after 11:15 Saturday night on Brookins Street. Hayslett was killed, 4 others injured. Family tells me that they were celebrating Hayslett's cousin who is heading off to college. Franklin remembers her close friend.
driven to succeed. You know, when all the odds are stacked against you and you still make it, oh baby, that's driven. And it comes a lot with her faith. You know, growing up in church and growing up hearing the word of God and growing up with the mother saying you can be this and you can be that.
Franklin says the gun violence extinguished a beacon of inspiration in the Douglas community, someone who proved their dreams were possible.
I started thinking about the community because she was a young lady that can inspire other young people in our community. Coming from where we come from, we didn't see a lot of people that inspired us to be great.
Police have identified 3 suspects, but need your help to find them.
One thing about Douglas community, we are resilient and we're loving and we can get through this together. So I tell all of my friends and all of my family, especially in Douglas, let's love on each other, let's speak well of each other, and don't go to your own conclusions.
Dr. Shandrika Hayslett was only 34 years old, and friends say they want her remembered as an inspiration to others and a proud product of the Douglas community. Police are continuing their search for her killers. Anyone with information is urged to reach out to Crime Stoppers. Sheila?
Yeah, someone's got to know something. That's Fox 13's Martin Stoughton live tonight at the Tillman Police Station. Thanks so much, Martin.
Okay, let's pick up right where we left off. It's Saturday night, just before 11:20. The party on Brookins Street is in full swing. People are celebrating, hugging, taking pictures, doing what families do when somebody's about to leave for college. Nobody there thinks this is the night they're going to lose someone. But somewhere in that crowd, a fight breaks out. Now, I want you to picture this. A party like that, it's not small. Police later said it was a large gathering. So when a fight starts in the middle of all those people, it doesn't stay contained. It spreads. Tension spikes. People start pushing, yelling, trying to pull others apart. And then in the middle of all that chaos, shots ring out. Not one shot, multiple shots, fired into a crowd of people who came there to celebrate, not to run for their lives. Officers got the call at 11:19 p.m. When they arrived, they found 3 victims right there on the scene. One of them was a woman who was rushed to the hospital. That woman was Dr. Shandrika Hayslett. She didn't survive. But here's what a lot of people don't realize about this case. She wasn't the only one hurt. 4 other people were shot that same night. A woman and a man were taken to the hospital in critical condition, fighting for their lives. 2 more victims, another man and woman, actually showed up at the hospital later in private vehicles, with non-critical injuries. 5 people total, shot at a college send-off party. And it gets worse. Police said several nearby homes and vehicles were also struck by gunfire. That means bullets were flying so wildly that houses where families were probably sitting inside, minding their own business, got hit too. Now sit with that for a second. This wasn't some targeted, isolated incident where one person got hurt and everyone else was safe. This was reckless. Whoever pulled that trigger, or whoever pulled multiple triggers, didn't seem to care who else was standing there. Didn't care about the mother celebrating her nephew. Didn't care about the doctor who just wanted to see her cousin off to a better future. And after the shots were fired, the suspects didn't stay. They ran. They fled the scene, leaving behind chaos, screaming, and a community that will probably never look at that street the same way again. I want you to think about the fear in that moment. People who came dressed up, smiling, taking pictures for the culture, suddenly diving for cover, not knowing if they were going to make it home. That's the reality Dr. Hayslett's final moments were wrapped in. Not peace, not closure, chaos. So the question everyone in Memphis started asking that weekend was simple. Who did this and why? I'm going to tell you what investigators have said so far, and what we still don't know. Because trust me, this story isn't finished yet.
I'm recording this time, bitch. Oh, y'all bushing. Ooh, y'all bushing. Oh, God. Who? She right got mace. Ooh. Damn! Ooh! They fine, y'all. They fine, y'all. Ooh! Ooh! Hey, that's our son. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, come here, bro.
No. Hell no. Hey, your mama right there, cuz. Get your mama. Get your mama. Hey, no. Stop. Stop. Stop, bro. Y'all fucking with me. Stop. They fucking with my family. I know, cuz. Stop. Stop. They fucking with my family. I know, cuz. Just stop, please, cuz. Stop. Y'all stop, bro. I can't do this. Stop. Please stop. They fucking with my family. Y'all bullshit. Where your son, bro? Your son going, man, get my baby. Cuz. Hey. Y'all bullshit. All right, look.
So now let's talk about where the investigation actually stands. Because I know you're waiting for that big twist, that moment where everything clicks into place. And I have to be honest with you, because that's what this channel is about. Real facts, no fluff. Memphis police say they have identified 3 suspects in connection with this shooting. 3 people they believe were involved in whatever happened that night on Brookins Street. But here's the twist nobody was expecting. As of the most recent information available, none of those 3 suspects have been named publicly. No arrests have been confirmed. The people responsible for taking Dr. Hayslett's life, for shattering that community celebration, are still out there. And maybe that's the real gut punch of this whole case. We don't have a villain with a face yet. We don't have a courtroom moment. We don't even have a confirmed motive. All investigators have said is that a fight broke out before the shots were fired. That's it. Nobody official has said what that fight was about, who started it, or whether Dr. Hayslett was even involved in it or just standing nearby when it all went wrong. Police are actively asking the public for help. They've put out a tip line through Crime Stoppers, which tells you something important. It tells you this case isn't closed in some back room somewhere. It's still open. It's still active. Somebody out there, maybe someone watching a video just like this one, knows exactly what happened that night. Maybe they know a name. Maybe they saw somebody pull a weapon, and they just haven't said anything yet. So here's where I want to leave you tonight, because I think this case deserves more than just facts. It deserves reflection. How does a celebration, a moment meant to represent hope and new beginnings, turn into a scene where 5 people get shot and a woman with a doctorate loses her life before she even got to use it fully? What does it say about us, about our communities, when even our happiest gatherings aren't safe anymore? And if you were in that crowd that night, would you have known who to run from? Or would you have frozen, the way most of us probably would? I also want you to think about this. Dr. Hayslett spent her whole life proving that where you start doesn't have to be where you end up. She did the work. She earned the title. And her reward for coming back home to celebrate someone she loved was a bullet she never saw coming. That's not just a crime statistic. That's a warning about how fragile all of this really is. If this story moved you the way it moved me, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell icon so you get notified the second there's an update on this case. Because trust me, when those suspects get named, when an arrest finally happens, you're going to want to be the first to know. This is Silent Crime Victims, and we are not going to let her story fade into silence. I'll see you in the next one.